So welcome to another episode of Sports Extra. Today, riding solo. My name is Rumbo Chakureka, but lots to be discussing or to talk about with you, our wonderful fans and viewers. Thank you very much for all those that are liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. We're appreciating your comments, and we'll continuously be pushing on our product as well, so that it is the best for you as a sports lover. But anyway, here are some of the issues we're going to be discussing today. First and foremost, in cricket, well, the Zim Afro T10 tournament has come to an end. Joburg Bangla Tigers are winning it in a very tense final against Cape Town Samp Army. But however, there were some spin-offs here, so we're going to be getting to hear a little bit of spin-offs of what the Zim Afro T10 brings to Zimbabwe. Then, of course, the Cheetahs Academy picking up the Zambezi Sevens Challenge for 2024, beating Pitbulls in the final. Very interesting. It was a tournament, and we're also going to hear from the Cheetahs captain. And then finally, we take a little bit of a look at my team. Why are they playing so poorly? What is wrong with Manchester United losing out significantly to Tottenham Hotspur? Chelsea doing the business. Cole Palmer, literally a sub-zero performance, scoring a hat-trick in 10 minutes. All this right here on Sports Extra. So welcome back to Sports Extra, and as we mentioned before, don't forget to click like, to subscribe, to share, to comment, so that we can get a little bit of a feel of what you would like us to be looking at, covering, and of course discussing. But of course, right on top of the list, we're going to be looking at the Zim Afro T10. And now it came to a close this last weekend, and this is how it all crumbled.
A wire from the golf course end. Oh, he's done it! The young man has done it! All the way from Mutare, the emerging player. Jaffers to David Warner. He has lit it up with celebrations. Cape Town, commiserations. Joburg, Bangla Tigers in Harare as the sun has set. What a moment, sir. Edge of your seat. Emotion. We were sent up, we were sent down. I tell you what, the emotion and the feelings right here have been so good, Dominic Cork.
What a game, what a competition. Season 2 finishes in absolute style.
Well, what a crumbling of the cookie, I must say. Tinashe Mchawaya defending 21 runs in that last over and being able to ensure that Cape Town Samp Army were not able to get to the target. But look, it was a great tournament. This time around, the subscription was much better, and I think we discussed a little bit of that last week with Ashley. And I think the T10 concept is definitely going to grow in Zimbabwe, going to grow on us as fans. There were more fans actually that were there, especially on the final. It was an absolutely electric atmosphere. The artists performed, they did what they could, and so on. And so I think ultimately it was a successful tournament. And Mr. Malk, who is obviously the founder of T10 Global Sports, will be looking forward to another successful tournament when it comes back next year. But I did mention at the start of the show that there were some spin-offs to this particular tournament. And when we talk about spin-offs, we're talking about maybe financial investments, financial reward. Obviously, some of that did come through for the likes of Zimbabwe Cricket, also for the players that were participating in the tournament. For us as the fans, getting to see some of the big artists which we wouldn't normally get access to at the prices that they were being paid for. But I think some of the big spin-offs that came through were the investment into the land of Zimbabwe, and that was through the SAMP Group. Now the SAMP Group are sponsors of the Cape Town SAMP Army, and more importantly, they are run by the Patel family, and they launched what is called Zim Smart Villages. Now, Zim Smart Villages is going to be a telehealth initiative that is going to be working through the Zim Post offices that are around the country. They're going to launch first and foremost with 100 centers at the start, and then we're going to see a lot more being installed where you can begin to get access to healthcare remotely from where you are, from a post office that will be near you, whether you're in Murewa, you're in Murambinda. As long as there's a post office that's near you, that's where Zim Smart Villages is going to. So let's get to hear a little bit of an explanation from the doctor who initially came up with this initiative.
So I will say all protocols observed so that I can save a bit of time, and also because I talk too much. So we are really excited, to be here, in this room this morning, and I would like to speak from my heart because what we are building and what we have built is something that concerns us, something that is very important for our people in Zimbabwe, something that we are going to speak to our grandchildren about. So in terms of numbers, our doctor to population ratio in Zimbabwe is 1 per 5,000 people, and that is quite low. To make it, clearer what I mean, if you are to take Australia, and draw a parallel, Australia has 17 doctors per 5,000 people. So they have 17 times more doctors than we have for the same number of people. And why does that matter? Again, in terms of numbers, our life expectancy in Zimbabwe is 62. So if there's any Zimbabwean who is in this room with 62 years, they must start getting worried and start preparing. I'm kidding, but I hope you get what I mean. But in Australia at the same time, the life expectancy is 82, 20 years more. So Australians on average live 20 years more than Zimbabweans. So this is why it is important for us to translate the doctor to population ratio to health outcomes, things like life expectancy. So what are we trying to solve as Zim Smart Villages? We are a telehealth and remote monitoring service. Telehealth simply means the ability to be able to provide health at a distance. So a doctor is here in Harare and they are providing assistance to a place in Mutare or Nyanga, 300 kilometers away, from where we are. And we'll do a short demonstration to make sure that you can be able to understand what we are doing. We are installing telehealth kiosks inside post offices in Zimbabwe. And the Postmaster General is here. We have 178 post offices, and I think they have recently added some more, so maybe the number is probably getting close to 250 or so. But when we started the project, the number that we were looking at was 178 post offices. So far from the 3rd of June, we have managed to go into 10 post offices and install telehealth kiosks. A telehealth kiosk is simply an access point for telemedicine. One person comes in, they find a nurse inside the kiosk, we help them with the vitals, then books an online consultation with the doctors, which is what we are just going to show briefly just now, and then I can be able to explain later. So I think worship should be in the booth. This is a telehealth booth. It's slightly smaller than a telehealth kiosk. A kiosk is a room inside the post office, but this booth, we operate what we call a hub and spoke model. So each telehealth kiosk, which is a post office, is surrounded by these 5 booths in a region of 40 to 50 kilometers around the telehealth kiosk. So this is what we then say a telehealth unit is 1 kiosk and 5 booths around it. That's what we mean by a hub and spoke model. So when you walk into the, say, a telehealth booth, we have pre-recorded messages which a client or a patient will listen to first before they are assisted. So worship, if you can play the first message, just briefly.
Welcome to the Zim Smart Villages Virtual Hospital. My name is Admojo Kwiro, and I work as a medical doctor. In this virtual hospital, we offer telehealth and remote monitoring services. Telehealth services simply means from where you are, we are able to assist you remotely and through a video and audio connection, which is what you are going to be seeing within the next few minutes.
Thanks, worship. Can you go to the next message?
Good day to you. Welcome to the Zim Smart Villages Virtual Hospital. As usual, this is one of the talks that we provide as health education in this community service. My name is Admojo Kwiro. I'm a medical doctor and I work in the telehealth program. Diabetes is one of those conditions which we call chronic
Thanks for
conditions.
watching.
So that's the Chief Medical Officer there, and giving us a little bit of an outline as to what some of these things are going to entail. But we also got to hear from the Chief Operating Officer, and he's the son to Xtra Patel, and that's Ritesh Patel, and he came through and spoke about an interesting initiative that they actually want to introduce in the nation of Zimbabwe.
We are starting SUMP education, and this will be based worldwide, but I would like to proudly announce that Zimbabwe is the first country where we are going to be establishing SUMP education as a way. This initiative will not only give us a chance to explore a new field, but this will also give us a chance to give back to the community who has supported us through the hard times. And last but not least, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out today and witnessing this historic day where not only will we launch Zim Smart Villages, but our new education department where it all starts in Zimbabwe. Thank you.
So beautiful stuff all around when it comes to the investment and to the spin-offs for the Zim Afro T10. As we usually say, sport is an industry, sport is a business. And once it's taken as such, then downstream industries are able to benefit from that. So I think the most important thing for us for the Zim Afro T10 is for it to continuously come through, and hopefully all of the other big billionaires and sponsors that are coming through for the other teams will be able to make similar investments as well when it comes to our healthcare, or when it comes to our education, or when it comes to many various aspects where we know that Zimbabwe is open for business to do. Well, we're going to be taking a short break. When we do come back, we are going to be talking about rugby. So welcome back to Sports Extra, and this time round we're talking about some local rugby. Well, the Zambezi Sevens challenge happened over the weekend, and it was a really good atmosphere at Old Georgian Sports Club as teams went neck and neck to try and win the particular tournament. 12 rugby teams for the men's section and 4 rugby teams for the women's section, and this included Zambia coming from across the border to come and increase their developmental aspect and keep on pushing. And so we'll start off, of course, with our Lady Cheetahs. Now, the Lady Cheetahs put out 3 teams: Lady Cheetahs Red, Lady Cheetahs Green, and Lady Cheetahs White. And Lady Cheetahs White seemed like the team which would be more assembled to do international assignments, with the Cheetahs Green and Cheetahs Red looking to maybe be the squad which would then be on the fringes and would be trying to punch their ticket into that starting lineup. And the Lady Cheetahs White went ahead, did the business, and were able to win 10 points to 5 against Zambia. It was a very intense final, I must say. But I must also commend the ladies for not giving up, even though Zambia were the ones to actually score first. So with them, would love to see them grow. And of course, the Lady Cheetahs captain Erica Mack was also very happy with the way that the ladies went about business. She has won the Zambezi Sevens Challenge Women's Section Trophy twice in a row. Firstly on a club level, that is for FS Raiders, and then coming through at a national team level, one would say. And so that would spur some confidence and obviously give her the mentality and the capacity to be able to spur the rest of the ladies on. Now with the men's section, it was a tough, bruising and very interesting encounter, I must say. Cheetahs Academy making it all the way through undefeated and beating Pitbulls, the local rugby side which is making waves on the local scene, and winning that particular trophy. Now the boys were obviously happy, but I think no one was more happier than the captain Tapiwa Malenga himself.
Always after every win, you're excited. These clubs, as a national team, there's challenging since that there's pressure, because we are a national team. So we are excited that we managed to pull through, and we showed quality that we are a national team.
I know at some point people look like they were going to get the better of you. Was there any panic at that point?
Yeah, obviously, there was a panic, but we stayed composed, knowing that we had things set and planned, right? And we just had to stick in and the ball connecting and all that. But we panicked at first, but we stayed composed.
And how important are tournaments like this? I feel like there's amazing talent, especially ahead of the seventh season.
Summit Challenge, this tournament is important to us in terms of our building up stage, because obviously we don't get too much of play. So when you're playing tournaments like this, it gives us time to build up on what we want to achieve in the next future.
Well, obviously the Safari Sevens are coming up, so hopefully the Cheetahs will be ready and would have just had a bit of an assessment and look into the Cheetahs Academy as well as the other Cheetahs players that they would be calling on board in order to keep on striving and pushing for that Rugby Africa Cup, and who knows, qualify for that Sevens World Cup, which will then be coming in about 2 years' time. So let's see how they go about business. I think Ricky Chirengene and this side have done a very decent job, and obviously more and more talent is popping up even at club level, so hopefully all of that will add to what he's looking to achieve, that is Rugby Africa Cup victory and obviously World Cup qualification. It's going to be tough, but let us know, do you think that they can qualify for the World Cup? Do you think that they can win the Rugby Africa Cup just like the Sables? Well, send us a comment and let us know about your thoughts. Well, coming up in the final segment, we're going to be taking a look at Manchester United. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. So welcome back. And yeah, I know this is the section that I didn't want to actually talk about today, but sadly I have to talk about it. Manchester United has fallen off the wagon wheel, and it has fallen off very, very significantly. Now, Manchester United lost by 3-0 against Tottenham. Now, look, are Tottenham a bad side? I think they played some really decent football. I think Ange Postecoglou has gotten them to play in a kind of a rhythm that is quite good. But I think Manchester United are just playing some poor football. But why are they playing some poor football? I'll tell you why they're playing poor football. Erik ten Hag is the reason why they're playing poor football. Maybe Ineos, to a certain extent, are to blame for having retained the man after the FA Cup victory. Manchester United, having become a cup side, are no longer able to challenge for titles. They are no longer able to contend for titles. So at the end of the day, that means Manchester United are just but a side that people will be waiting for in the Carabao Cup, which is arguably 4 or 5 matches, an FA Cup, arguably another 4 or 5 matches, and then you win a trophy. We need a team that is able to be sustainable throughout a season, that is able to play good football throughout 38 games in a season, a team that is able to qualify for the UEFA Champions League. But Erik ten Hag cannot deliver that, and I'll tell you exactly why. In this particular match, Tottenham Hotspur were able to create goals or create chances for goals 4.67 times against Manchester United on home turf in Old Trafford. Manchester United were only able to create one chance. Chai. And then, of course, others, they were hitting off target and so on and so forth. Apparently, when you look at the statistics, Manchester United had 11 shots at goal, only 2 on target. 2 in an entire 90 minutes. Their defense was run ragged. Manuel Ugarte was in the side, but he couldn't stop Mickey van der Ven making a 67-yard run. Honestly, Manchester United is just looking quite poor. Ten Hag should be fired. It's as simple as all that. I don't think he delivers much value. I think he's lost the dressing room. I think Bruno Fernandes may not necessarily be the best captain. He's a good player, but he's not the best captain. I think as well that the system that Erik ten Hag is trying to implement at Manchester United is not working. He just simply needs to get Manchester United on the front foot a little bit more. You can't have that amount of pace in Rashford, in Garnacho, in Højlund. Well, Xerxes is not necessarily the fastest of runners, but at least he can hold his own. You can't have that amount of pace and not be able to be lobbing balls forward, making passes through the lines. It seems we can't pass. It seems we can't get the pass to the right person at the right time. Manchester United is in shambles. But let's talk about another side which is doing the right business. Chelsea. We spoke about it last week. And if you did watch, of course, our video last week or our episode last week, well, you can go on our YouTube channel and watch it. We spoke about how Enzo Maresca has been able to get them to play in a good system very quickly. Eric Ten Hag has failed. 3 seasons it has taken him. He's still saying, we're working on something. Stick to the plan. What plan? What is the plan? Where are we going? Enzo Maresca has put in a system. Ange Postecoglou, quickly we can see how Tottenham wants to play. Oliver Glasner, who's now at Crystal Palace, he came in. We've already seen how he wants to play. Hursler, who's joined Brighton and Hove Albion, replacing Roberto De Zerbi. We know how he wants to play. Eric Ten Hag, how do you want to play? Using the central striker as just a link-up player? No, no siree. That's not how Man United plays. A central striker at Man United is supposed to score. Ask Andy Cole, ask Dwight York, ask Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, ask Teddy Sheringham, ask all those in the past. Even the likes of Romelu Lukaku, who I feel maybe we treated a little bit badly. Ask them all. They are expected to score. And if they are expected to score, they're supposed to receive supply. But anyway, that's Manchester United for you. But Chelsea doing very well. 4-2 win, Cold Palmer. Jeez! He's sub-zeroing everybody and showing exactly the quality he's made of. Jadon Sancho, who's on loan from Manchester United, can't stop assisting. Nicholas Jackson just looks to be in phenomenal form. Chelsea are on the rise, and Chelsea are a team to watch out for. Watch out for them. And they might just make it all the way into the Champions League places by the end of the season. As for Arsenal, they eked out that win, and then Liverpool now sitting right on top. And we haven't heard the last of it. Liverpool sitting on top of the table. Yeah, we are title contenders. Yeah. Don't worry. When Pep Guardiola wakes his team up and it goes on a 14-match unbeaten streak, then you will know. Munazera na Pep Guardiola. But in any case, that brings us to the end of Sports Extra for this week. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, you comment, you share, and of course, more importantly, you give us feedback on what you would want us to cover and to talk about. But until next time, cheerio.